Hi. If you've been here a while, you remember my round of applause for you and for me and for this video. I gotta start doing that again. I want you to try it whenever you need to shift the energy instantly. It doesn't have to be loud and obnoxious, but literally, round of applause shifts your energy and you shift the energy of those around you. So, welcome. Hi, I'm Sophia. Hugs. Here we talk about self-development, personal development, getting better and better. If you're like me and you thought that life would take over, mom life and wife life would just be all that we are, then you're in the right place, because I lived that way for so long and I realized I want to be getting better and better. I need to be getting better and better. There are definitely ways that I didn't love and enjoy about myself. So knowing that I'm still lovable and that I'm still enough and that my family is not going to hate me and leave me if I'm take accountability and admit these things to myself, become aware of them, was the first monumental step. Because there's definitely a part of us, you guys, that thinks we need our tribe to survive. That primal belief, that doesn't go away. That continues on forever in our brains. And so we feel that way with things that may not be true. They might even sound silly. Even if you just say them out loud, you might realize how ridiculous it sounds. But in your mind, in your space, it feels and seems very real. So this is a lot of what I do here. And we get really real about what's underneath the surface, what's within you, what's within your mind, what's within your body, what you're carrying, what you're holding, and looking at it and knowing we won't die if we look at it, and knowing we're still going to be loved even though we are flawed. And knowing that you are enough as you are. And so we do know that, and we're also open and willing to get better and better now for our families, for our husbands, for our children, for sure. Even for my dogs. I love my dogs so much. I genuinely just want to be better in every area of my life. And once I realized that nobody I knew was personally at the time was doing anything like this, I think it's such an important message. If you've ever felt like I have all the things that I wanted and I'm still not feeling fulfilled, not all the time, but a lot of the time, you maybe feel like something's still missing. Do I need to have another kid? Do we need a bigger house? Do we need more vacations? And then you'll do those things and you will find that you just need to look within. There's a little girl inside of you, multiple versions of yourself that need you to acknowledge her and to just love yourself in every version of you. And it's a really beautiful thing. And then also integrating that into your now version of you, and then becoming who you want to be, all that you want to be, because it's not some distant dream or a future that you can kind of feel into, but not really. It feels so far away and so unachievable. Maybe that desire that you have for it, it's very real and it's meant for you to live it now. So we take little steps. We don't want to shock the nervous system, and we don't need to, but we take the next right steps that come to us when we get quiet, when we quiet the noise that goes on, those thoughts that just go on all day, every day, that don't seem to stop. Being everything for everyone else, you get to be for yourself too, and be even better for everyone else, is what I have found in my experience. That's why I think this is so important. To know that you are in fact co-creating your life. You are not a victim of it, and you get to be the driver and no longer in the passenger seat of your life. So many people are unaware of their power. And what I mean when I say that is they're unaware that they are a co-creator of their life. Life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. So when you know how you affect your reality, how your inner world affects your outer reality, you can do better, you can show up better, you can be a better version of yourself, you can live a better life. And I know it may feel like if this is something new to you, if this is something you haven't really heard before, or something that triggers you, this is to liberate you. So just try to put your ego aside. I know life can be a lot. I know it can be hard. I know if you're putting in so much effort, it can feel like, are you kidding me? I'm the problem. It's so much easier to point the finger. It's so much easier for my job to be the problem. It's so much easier for my husband to be the problem. It's so much easier for my friends to be the problem, my children. It's so much easier to point the freaking finger to anybody but to the person in the mirror, right? I know that. It's easier, but it's not productive. It's just not productive. Aren't you tired of blaming everyone else? And I know that's not your intention. I know you are good. And I know you are coming from a place of, I'm a good person. I'm doing all the right things. My heart is good. I intend to do good, but it doesn't always land that way. People aren't perceiving you in that way. And maybe you just feel so out of control and you're not happy with the way things are, and you find yourself feeling low, frustrated, anxious, just unhappy a lot of the time. When you take your power back and you say to yourself, just play with the idea, maybe I am a co-creator of my life, whatever that means. Maybe you can't even fully conceptualize what that means. That's fine. If it's a new idea, that's totally understandable, and it probably is. So maybe I do have more power than what I've been taught and told my whole life. Maybe I can change things around and it doesn't have to be hard. That's the whole thing here. I'm not here trying to give you more work and hard work to do. You're already doing that. I know you're already doing that. You've been doing that probably your whole life. This is the video that's going to make you feel like you can freaking let go. You can just rest your shoulders and open your chest and take a deep breath and just breathe easily. And you can just breathe in and you can breathe out, and you can notice that giving and that receiving. Doesn't that just feel like this is the way things are supposed to be? I give a little, I receive. I give a little, I receive. You're not taking so much breath, holding it, and then just giving just a tiny bit of breath, right? You're receiving, hold it for a second, and then give it back out. Breathe out, right? That harmony that you just experienced of giving and receiving, or receiving and giving, that's the way your life could go. I would say that's the way that your life should go. It's not supposed to be a struggle. It doesn't have to be a struggle. The choice is yours. The choice is really yours. And we can't go back into the past. So there's no sense in being like, what do you mean I've been doing all of this for nothing? Because that alone can stop you from moving forward, even watching the rest of this video. Because the idea that you've been doing it wrong this whole time and there was a choice could take over, and you can go into self-sabotage, and then in a few hours you'll forget all about this and continue into your regular programming, right? Which is give, receive just a tiny bit. Give, feel depleted, unseen, unloved, not enough. Like you don't have this whole life thing figured out yet. And then you'll notice other people feeling the same way. We're going to attract people who are feeling the same way. They're in the same frequency as you. They're thinking the same or similar thoughts as you for the most part. Their dominant thoughts are the same. You're going to feel like, oh, it's true for everybody, not just me. And then that keeps you where you are, repeating these patterns of behavior instead of changing and feeling better. The thing is this, you're not going to die from that. No, you're going to live as long as you're meant to live. But if you could live a better, happier, more fulfilled life, why wouldn't you choose that for yourself? That's a great question to think about and to ponder on. And when you're on your next drive or commute home, think about that. Why would you self-sabotage and not give yourself that? If there is a better way, and it doesn't mean that it's like this I have this magical spell. I mean, I wish I kind of did, but your effort's going to be required. It's just not going to be hard physical labor. It's going to feel so much better than what you've been feeling like. So thoughts may come up like, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Everyone I know is unhappy in their life. What you believe to be true will be true for you. And maybe that's true for a lot of people, but it's not ultimately true for everyone. I think what I'm speaking about here up until now, this whole video and all my other videos before this, if we live in this way, knowing these truths that are available to everyone, we can all take on these beliefs. I have power in my life. I'm a co-creator of my life. I have say in the way my life goes. I am more powerful than I know, and I get to tap into that power and learn that power. You get to live the life that you actually want to live. What I talked about in my last video, if you didn't see it, go watch it. It's your signal and what you're constantly signaling out and how. A deeper way of looking at that and thinking about it. Your signal is made up of one thing, really. And that is your energy, right? And your energy is made up of your thoughts and your feelings. It goes even deeper than that. Our thoughts come from our beliefs, right? So you may have heard me say your subconscious beliefs, and that's where our deep-rooted beliefs are. What we believe to be true about the world that we live in, about life, about your life, about a married life, about a single life, about a family life, children, having children, not having children, career, school, education, everything, health. All your beliefs are in there. Your deep-seated beliefs that you've been believing since forever, right? Parents, we take on their beliefs, and not just them, but everyone who plays an important role in our lives. Up until the age of 7 to even 14, we are like sponges, right? Taking on all of these beliefs that are not even our own. We don't really question them. Most of us didn't question these beliefs. We just took them on, right? So I have other videos on that you can go and watch if you want to go deeper into that and how that all works and how you can shift it and change it and how it affects your life today. But it's so important that you learn to understand that your inner world, right? Your thoughts, your beliefs, your feelings create your outer reality. So if you have a belief that says, I am not enough, which a lot of us have, most of us have or had, and you're working on it. It's when you know that you have it and you do this inner work, you do get to a point where you catch it early on when it comes up in your life, and you can reframe it and you can shift it, and you shift the energy of what occurs literally in real time. It's like a fascinating thing that happens, but it becomes normal to you. So it's not a big deal because you know your power at that point, right? If you're new to this, you will notice that I am not enough. Maybe when you were a kid, you couldn't clean up your toys, right? And so your mom maybe would get frustrated because she had so much on her plate or whatever, maybe your babysitter, whoever. And they were like, you're not doing it right. That's not how you do it. Just stop. Your little mind doesn't ever say like, how rude, I'm just a kid. What I'm doing is age appropriate. You didn't think like that. None of us did, right? Most of us didn't. Adults saying that to an impressionable child, they're just doing the best they can. They're not realizing the weight of their words, but now your mind makes the belief of, oh, I'm not doing this good enough, so I am not enough, basically. And the next time you mess up, you broke something and your mom gets upset or your dad gets upset and yells at you, I'm not enough. I wasn't careful enough. This just can play into every area of your life. I don't do my hair good enough. I'm not neat enough. I don't walk straight enough. I am clumsy, maybe. Whatever it is, you can apply this to your life and see that it is in fact very true, and it affects us all to some extent, right? So I think a lot of us were raised with this, with the unawareness of the weight of words and how they affected us, and this is what we developed as and what we were raised with not just our parents, of course, society, our teachers, kids we went to school with. Everybody plays their roles in our lives. Maybe your first crush, the first boy you ever liked, told you you weren't pretty enough or you were ugly, and then you thought, oh, I'm not pretty enough for him. Reinforces that I am not enough belief. We just carry these beliefs into adulthood. And then we're good parents, but we're not good enough. Your kids are not smart enough, so that means we're not good enough. Our kids aren't behaved enough, so I'm not a good enough parent because I don't know how to discipline my kids. My husband's not happy, maybe, so I'm not a good enough wife. Apply it in your own life, and you will see these are obviously examples so that you can better understand how this affects us in adulthood. And it's not to blame anybody. I always have to throw that in there because there's no point. There's just no point. Everybody did the best that they could with what they knew and had at the time. It's all up to you now. You get to decide because we can't go back. And even if we could go back, we would be kids again. So we're not going to overrule our parents. We're not going to see them as wrong and teachers. That's just not realistically going to happen. But what you can do, what can help you now is just becoming aware of how your deep rooted beliefs affect your life now. They affect your thoughts. So your thoughts will be like, I messed up dinner again. I cooked this too long. I didn't cook this enough. I didn't do that, whatever. And it'll just leak into all areas of your life. I'm late again for bedtime. So we didn't get to read all the books that we wanted to read. Now I'm a bad mom. And it's thoughts that we just think in our minds, and they're not ultimately true, but they certainly feel that way. So these beliefs affect our thoughts, right? And how we think. And then the way that we think affect our feelings. They affect how we feel. So we want to reverse engineer to better understand ourselves, better understand our thoughts, and then our limiting beliefs even. Now, this may sound like a lot of work. It does to me. It's absolutely doable and will get easier over time. How do you feel? Get clear on that. I'm feeling frustrated, anxious. What was I thinking about? We have a lot of thoughts pretty constantly. So you want to just think about what was your dominant thought? There was a thought that was like going on a loop, or several that were going on a loop. And if you just take a couple minutes, maybe write it out, it can be easier. What was I thinking about? You'll start to trace it back to what you were thinking about. And it could have sounded something like, nothing ever works out for me. I just don't want to do this. Maybe I just want this to be over with already. I don't want to be doing this. And then you can prove to yourself little by little that you do have all this power. Stay on track and find the thought, right? And then you can tie it into a belief. What does that mean about me? What do I believe to be true about myself? And you can get clear on the belief there. I'm not enough. Like I said, could be your dominant belief that literally is underneath everything that you do, everything that you say your whole life. And that's one way of doing it. I find rapid transformational therapy to be way easier. And I have the principles of rapid transformational therapy in all of my work, in all of my courses. You can find all of them at Sophia with an FELLE.com. I will put the link below and in the comments section. So check that out if you are wanting to change things in your life and you are realizing that it's true that you may have more power. Once you start to notice how your thoughts affect your feelings and how your feelings affect your life, because your thoughts and your feelings equal your energy, right? That is what your energy is made up of. So what is your energy emitting? What is your energy signaling out to God, to the universe? Because if you're thinking thoughts of, I hate my life, that's like dramatic, but I don't like my life. Nobody's happy. Everyone's miserable. And now you're feeling anxious and frustrated and tired all the time. The signal that you're sending out is, I want more of this. That's how God in the universe takes it. It's going to give you more of what you're already sending signals of with your energy. And you will notice that to be true once you start to carefully decide your thoughts and choose your thoughts wisely. So like when a limiting thought comes up, you reframe it. What would you rather be thinking? What would you rather be thinking right now? Maybe it's, I can make the best of this. I actually chose to do this. I wanted to do this. When I think back to when I made this choice, it was everything I wanted and more, but I've taken it for granted maybe, or I've just been unaware that I can choose to make this a better experience. So let me choose that now. How can I make this more fun? Can I play music in the background? Can I maybe just stop and do something just for me before I do something for anyone else, whether it's my boss, my husband, my kids, my home, right? Let me do something just for me. Also, I have free resources on my website that you can go and grab right now and have it do something instantly just for you. I also have a really low $33 offer to start working with your mind, doing this mindset work in a more guided way where you're also working with your mind, listening to activations, which are audios to get your mind thinking better thoughts, and then a hypnosis for reprogramming limiting beliefs that also help you think better and choose better thoughts. And that is inner work, right? But that changes your outer reality and it changes it fast. You want to notice and be aware of it. You might think it's like coincidence and, oh, no big deal, this happened. And these are ways we make things not a big deal to keep us in the familiar, which is the way things are right now. Your nervous system, it's important to know. I'm not going to get into all of this, but it is important to know your nervous system. Its main job is to keep you safe. And it operates with the idea that safety means familiar. So if unconditional love, let's say, is unfamiliar to you, if you feel that, you're going to run away from it. You're going to repel it. You're going to resist it, right? Because it's unfamiliar and you're going to feel not good because your nervous system is dysregulated. It's going to tell you, go to safety. Something's wrong here. Something's not right. Meanwhile, you're just experiencing something really beautiful, but it's unfamiliar to you. What you want to do in that scenario, in that case, is make the things that you do want familiar. It may feel wrong. It doesn't mean that it's wrong. It just means it's unfamiliar, right? So that's so important, I think, to know, because when you start to feel anxious and you believe the thoughts that say, this is weird, this is too much, it must be inauthentic, it can't be genuine, something's wrong here, they're lying. All those thoughts are lies. Those thoughts that are going on in your mind are complete lies. They're trying to protect you from something beautiful that you may really want, but it's so unfamiliar to your nervous system that it thinks it's unsafe. Replay that a few times so that it makes sense, or tell that to someone else, because saying it out loud will help you make it make more sense, maybe in your own words, in your own life, in your own way. But that is the way that it works. So I think just knowing that is absolutely life-changing. It can quite literally change your life, and it will if you apply it and you use it and you learn to recognize it. So the foundational thing to know is that saying your thoughts create your reality is true. It is absolutely true, because your thoughts plus your feelings equal your energy, and your energy is the signal that you're sending out constantly. And what you're sending out is what you will get more of. So if you don't like what you're experiencing in your life, if you want to take the easier way, and I'm not saying nothing will be required of you, well, you're going to have to press play and you're going to have to listen to it, and you're going to have to just not listen to the thoughts that are saying, this isn't going to work. This is too easy. This isn't going to work for me. It worked for her, but it's not going to work for me. It's literally the way your brain works. Your brain learns through repetition. The reason you have the limiting beliefs that you have is because you heard it enough times and it made an impression on you and you believed it. Beliefs are just thoughts that you kept hearing and then you ended up believing them. Right? They do carry energy and they do carry weight. You're not going to believe everything that you hear, no, but something that affects you, you're going to believe it. If someone you really admire or respect says something about certain men or specific types of women or certain careers, you might believe them. And it just could be a complete lie. It could just be their belief and it's not ultimately true. And it could be blocking you from your fulfillment, from your joy. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to just go taking other people's beliefs. You can choose to believe and to think whatever it is that you want. You didn't have that choice when you were a child, but now it is up to you. Now you get to, and it's absolutely your work, your job to be aware of the thoughts that you think, the beliefs that you believe to be true. I hope you're willing to be open to this idea if you are not already. And maybe you can share this with someone who could use it. I can think of probably 50 people off the top of my head that can use this. And it's not to make anybody wrong. It's not to say you've been doing it wrong and you're living life the wrong way. No, it's you get to do things differently moving forward. And that's a beautiful, liberating thing. Life gets to be better. You get to change your life. And it starts with your inner world. It starts with your thoughts and the way that you feel. And you've been doing this your whole life. You just maybe didn't realize it. You maybe just didn't know. But now that you know, you can't unknow it. So don't be mad at me. Love me. And I'm kidding. You don't have to do that. But you get to change it up. And I really hope that you do. For the sake of your life, for the sake of your happiness, your peace, your fulfillment, and your families, everyone that gets the pleasure of being in your life, I hope that you take this and I hope that you apply it. Again, I do this work in all of my courses, right? In different ways. I have different courses for different things, but we're doing this work in all of them. And you can check them out at the link below. So you don't have to do this alone. You don't have to wonder, where do I start? How do I do this? It's not enough to just hear this. And if you've been living a certain way your whole life and then applying this work, you may need some more guidance. You may need some strategy, audios to also help prime your mind. Oh, I also wanted to say this one thing, though this could be another video. I think I'll save it for the next video. I love you. You are worthy. You are enough. You matter. You are significant. You are special in your own way. You are one of one. There are billions of people on this earth and you are one of one. There is nobody exactly like you. You are meant to do good, great, beautiful, amazing things. You are meant to live out your desires. They are not some distant future. They don't have to be. They can be your reality sooner than you think when you work with your mind, when you do this inner work. I am living proof. I love you. You've got this. God's got you. Life's got you. Life loves you. God loves you. I hope you love you. So go do some beautiful big things.